The late night with Bobby Tyler show. Late night with Bobby Tyler show. Late night with Bobby Tyler show. Late night Bobby Tyler show. Late night with Bobby Tyler show. Late night with Bobby Tyler show. Late night with Bobby Tyler show. Filmed in the Napa Valley TV studio. Whoa, yeah. Ha! That's it. Gotcha.
Ha! Welcome to the Late Night with Bobby Tyler show.
Until I was about 10 years old in the high desert in Southern California. It was Moreno Valley. It used to be Sunnymead, so high desert.
And then about how far was how far was that from Los Angeles?
About an hour.
About an hour. Okay, and then from
hour drive, maybe 45 miles or something.
Oh, okay. And then when you were growing up, can you describe what your
when I was
childhood
10,
friends?
we moved up here. Yeah. Now I'm about 500 miles north. We moved up here when I was 10. But in Southern California, I had different friends, in school. One maybe black, and then mostly white, right?
So most of your friends were just regular white Americans, and then maybe one black American.
Yeah.
What about any Latin American or Mexican or anyone else of any color when you were growing up?
Yeah, one Mexican. Yeah, he lives next door. So because this is in the '60s,
Yeah.
So early '60s. So
and then
social unrest. So.
The makeup was that you guys hung out with were boys and girls, or mostly boys?
Yeah, mostly boys and a few girls next door.
When you guys were growing up, what types of childhood games did you play amongst the kids in the neighborhood?
Some baseball and foursquare, stuff like that, tetherball and stuff.
And then as you think back to your like your earliest memory, do you have any early memories of where someone pointed out to you that there's a major difference, or that there's this perceived difference between being a black person or a person of color and then being a white person? Do you have what are your earliest memories?
Like James, he was black. He said, after school, let's hang out, right? Let's go over. I said, let's go to your house. And he's like, oh no, his parents aren't going to allow any white people, to come over there, right?
Really?
And he said, let's go to your house. And I said, no, my parents don't like any black people over here, right? So we hang out back in the field, way out in the field somewhere, because his parents didn't like me, and my parents didn't like him.
Right. And you guys were still friends and still hung out in the neighborhood,
Yeah, still friends. Sometimes we fought, sometimes we were friends.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. I mean, my mom was from Arkansas, so we'd go down there in the winter and the summer for vacation. And they had segregated bathrooms and segregated drinking fountains. Mm-hmm. So the one on the right said colored drinking fountain. The one on the left was white drinking fountain. Well, I was like maybe 5 years old. I don't want to drink white water. I want some of that colored water. It sounded like Kool-Aid, So this sounds much better, right? So I started drinking out of that. And my mom about slapped me. She goes, what are you doing? You don't drink out of that drink.
Wow.
So segregation was big in the South in the early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
Now, when you compare you said Arkansas. When you compare Arkansas to where you grew up, did they have the same kind of signage where you grew up? You know, in your name?
No, in California, we didn't have the segregation. You know, they you know, kids went to schools, you know, together, and you know, same drinking fountains and bathrooms and everything, you know. But there was still a lot of segregation mentally, you know.
Oh, okay.
In the '60s, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then when that,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
But just in the mind, I mean, not on the signage.
Right, not in the signage, but it was still, you know, prevalent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When you think about when you were drinking out of that water fountain, what did you think about it? Like, how did you process it at that young of an age? You know, did you still, you know, how did you take it in?
Well, I didn't know any better, you know, and I still don't, you know. It's water is water, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know. Yeah. So it's like they thought there was different germs from black people to white people, you know. And my youngest son, he's black, so he's 25 now. I mean, we drink out of the same glasses. The germs are the same, you know. So But I think back then they had a different mentality, and probably maybe they still do in the South. I don't know. So.
Yeah. And then as you begin to get older, did you still continue to see more situations and where people were making it still a big difference as you got older? Like, let's say you got to elementary school and high school and then finally got out into the work world. Did you see it consistently, or you would just see it sporadically here and there where people...
When I moved to Napa, it was basically just white towns, and the next town was Vallejo. So Vallejo and Napa were kind of like, they don't come over here, and we don't go over there, you know, right? You know, kind of, you know. But I think it's more, the thing is it's more environment. I mean, my son grew up here in Napa Valley. He went to private schools since he got scholarship age 2, you know. And he's 25. He's never committed any crime. He's never smoked. He never drank. He's never done any drugs. He's never done anything wrong. He's like a perfect angel, right? I mean, he didn't grow up in the ghetto. You know, I think his environment is what it is. You know, it doesn't matter about the color of your skin. And he's never done anything wrong. Me, when I was 13, I was a drug dealer. I was selling weed and cocaine. I was 13 years old.
No way.
I mean, in the most elite neighborhoods, but still.
Right.
There was no danger. So, but him, he's never. My children, and I have children from, you know, all nations, you know.
Right.
Irish, German, Black, African American. They're all the same. They're just real innocent.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they're all just real. I mean, I was really blessed to have kids that never did anything wrong ever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like incredible. One of them's 38. He turned 38 yesterday. Never done anything wrong.
Wow. And like you said, I guess the environment does play a big part, you know.
I think so.
The environment plays a big part.
Yeah, because if I wasn't a single parent, he was raised with his mother in South Central California, down south. In the ghetto, he could have been a Crip, you know, or a gangbanger or whatever, falling right into that, you know, trap. But being a single parent, I raised him. Right.
And then you guys are in Napa Valley, and
yes,
mostly, what would you say during the time that you guys were, you know, you were raising your kids? That was probably what, the 70s and 80s?
My kids?
Yeah, when you're raising your kids.
Yeah, I was like a late bloomer. I didn't have any kids till 1982, and little Bobby was born 1995. You know, so he's the youngest. Yeah, little Bobby.
As they were growing up, did they ever come up to you and say, "Hey, why are people reacting this way? Or did they never really face?
They never really knew. But within the last few years, I've been telling my son, if you get pulled over, you keep your hands on the steering wheel. You don't reach for your wallet because they will shoot you because you look like Obama. You're in the mix, so keep your hands on the stick. And I don't have to tell my white kids that, of course.
Right? Yeah.
Now, unless they have long hair, like I had long hair, I just cut it off. And when I have long hair, I get pulled over all the time. I get beat up. They think I'm a drug dealer, and I'm clean and sober. I have no vices at all. But because of my long hair, I will get pulled over about 5 times a year. And now I don't.
Wow.
Now I don't get pulled over anymore. And sometimes I get beaten or searched, and because they just think you're a drug dealer. It's just
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, this looks like this guy's got weed or something.
Right. And when you got into your work life as you got older, did you have any experiences where something became a black and white issue, or the subject came up and there had to be a discussion about it, or just even as you got into the work world, it just didn't really come up because of, you're in California and a lot of people have experienced people from different backgrounds?
I did have a lot of trouble in St. Thomas in the Caribbean. I lived there off and on for 30 years, but just for a year and a half at a time, 3 different stints. But I would live in the worst ghettos down there because the rent was cheap, so I always had trouble getting in and out of my neighborhood because no white people were allowed. So I would get robbed or beaten or, somebody pull a gun or something. But again, it's environment. I mean, these are tourists that have come down there. There's a lot of resentment because of the slave trade brought them to the Caribbean, There's poverty. There's no education. There's crack cocaine epidemic starting up. There's so many factors involved, poverty and and tourists coming with all kinds of money,
Right.
So there was a lot of resentment, and I can understand, it was environment, So yeah, I had a lot of trouble in that neighborhood, and I've been back for 4.5 years now. This last stint.
Right.
But I'd have machine gun fire outside my window, like AK-47s and stuff, and it's like if you took Oakland and compressed it down to about a 2-block area, that's how much crime it was. More crime than LA and New York combined per square foot.
Wow.
But like I say, a lot of factors involved. I mean, there's heat and humidity, so you're hot, you're mad, you're angry, So
Right.
A lot of factors involved. It wasn't just, one thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous neighborhood.
And then for the last question, as you take into consideration everything, how you grew up, how you look at everything, what's going on with the world currently right now today with politics, the coronavirus, COVID-19, but in terms of race and racism, how do you see the future, the near future?
I don't see. I was telling my son it's more like 1920 than 2020. I mean, the same stuff's still going on, right? 100 years later, and maybe worse. I mean, I mean, people think, well, we've got a new president coming in a couple months. That'll change everything. No, the police are going to be just as angry, if not more angry now. They could shoot a black man for jaywalking. I mean, just because of. I mean, that's not going to stop that because we don't vote for police. Maybe we vote for the sheriff once in a while, but they're not politicians, So I don't think things are going to change. They might get worse with new president, And people think, 2021, coronavirus is over. No, this could. I was saying 9 months ago, this could go until 2023. You know?
Right. Yes.
I
Yeah.
was saying right away, this is not going to be over. They say, oh, just a couple more weeks, just a couple more weeks. No, a couple more years at least, you know.
Right. Yeah.
What I was thinking, you know, it's like, as soon as, like, it doesn't know New Year's. COVID-19 doesn't know. So they think January comes, the year's over, everything's fine. No, I don't think so. So I don't see it, unfortunately, and I always have a positive attitude and you know, think positive and look towards the future, you know, as you know, great things. But I don't see, unfortunately, I don't see it getting real much, very much, I don't see it getting any better within the next, say, 6 months.
Right.
Maybe give it 9 months or a year. Maybe things will get better with all this animosity from the police, you know, towards different minorities. Maybe with the COVID, you know, and the political thing. Maybe people will start to, instead of being so polarized, you know, maybe they'll stop hating each other. The two different, you know, the Republicans and the Democrats stop hating each other. You know? Right. I mean, the intolerance is incredible. I mean, everybody's saying how tolerant they are, you know, but not happening, right? You know? Yeah. So, you know. Yeah. So, and those are my thoughts anyway. I mean, a lot of the other people that I've been interviewing, everyone, there's this common thread that everyone says a lot of this is still the same as it was 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And that's the shocking part. Right. You know, we've the years have changed, but those attitudes and that animosity is right. It's actually, in some instances, it's a little bit worse now than a few years ago. You know, and then when you go back many years ago, it's almost the same. You know, where people are just against each other. Even 100 years ago, you know, you have to be a celebrity for them not to jack you up. Some celebrity, I forget who it was, a black guy, he was in LA, he was visiting, and the police just pulled him to the ground, right? And he goes, why are you pulling me down? Because you have a gray sweatsuit on and you're a black man, that's who we're looking for. And he said, Google this name right now. And he was from Saturday Night Live. No. And they Googled the name and they go, we're sorry, sir, we let you go. It's a terrible injustice. I mean, you know, and just getting worse is ridiculous. I mean, you think people would mature or their brains would evolve a little bit? Maybe. And maybe they would read a book or get some knowledge, you know, or something. Yeah. How I explain it to everyone is everyone's from just these so different areas. Hey, what if you just ask someone the same question? When you see your answers, you know, next to everyone else's, and when you just are able to narrow it down, you learn something. Try to talk about racism.
have gall, trying to glimpse the tea. They stand tall, or crawl to get next to me. I'm tall 'em all, going down in history. Standing tall, and it's no mystery. I don't fall, the future is just for me. Baby doll, fame and fortune is first, you see. I don't stall, Niagara Falls flows the sea. I'm the baddest damn rapper that there ever could be. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. The T is for tremendous, the why not? The L is for lucky, the E for excellent. The R is for royal, cause that's what I am. So come on everybody and bump this jam. The pecker wood, more wood than woodpeckers. Checking the mic, cause I'm the mic checker. All you party people dress so fine, I'm about to entertain you and blow your mind. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. Tell 'em all. Tell 'em all. It's God, I think, I got bank. I'm as solid as a rock. Like an arrow, it's a straight, in the narrow I walk. I got a Eldorado, won the lotto too. As you could see, it had to be, it was deja vu. I'm on a roll, take a stroll down the length of my beach. Clear as a bell, you can tell my perfection is speech. What I want, don't haunt me, it's within my reach. Stop guessing, learn a lesson, this is what I teach. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. If I was taller, it wouldn't mean a thing. I'd take you under my virtuous wing. I heard you holler, I'm the merciless Ming. All you Tyler Maulers wanna hear me sing. All you baby ballers with your binky bing. It's okay, shot callers have your blinky blink. Sometimes they call me the kinky king. $5,000 on my pinky ring. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby, maybe a call.
There's Michael Weaver.
I'm going to the top, so I'm owing Johnny Knots. Hip-hop don't stop, so the beat I drop. Top of the charts on Reverb Nation, from St. Bart's to all the Haitians. From the start right to flotation, from my heart it's captivation. Number one is where I'm rating. You knew it was my fate, and all you haters keep on hating, cause my ego is inflamed. Born ready, died waiting, torn teddy, she'll be made. With me there's no debating, cause the Tyler is creating. 707 to the 340. Down down to St. Thomas out of SFO. 707 to the 340. Napa Valley, Cali to the Bolongo. West Indian, East Indian, I'm from the Cherokee Nation. I'm on the radio, depending on the station. 107.9, playing me in rotation. It's like heaven, it's fine all across the nation. I'm the new sensation, positive vibration. Number one Caucasian for a new generation. I came here on vacation, I'm here for the duration. Fame and transportation to my world domination. 707 to the 340. Down to St. Thomas out of SFO. 707 to the 340. Napa Valley, Cali to the Bolongo. I don't duck or cringe, I can rhyme an orange. My rights you can't infringe, if you slide I come and hinge. West Coast to the West Indies, Space Coast, the earthquake sent me best coast. And not too windy, TV host that pays the rent. Rolex, Gucci, and Fendi, Rolodex that girls that send me. FedEx, brought Lamborghini, Tyler Rex, he wants to be. I'm the next Russ to Ferrari, drive a Lex with a new car. He's got big pecs so you'll be sorry, she wants sex on top my Harley. 707 to the 340. Down to St. Thomas out of SFO. 707 to the 340. Napa Valley, Cali to the Bolongo. Went from Ferrari to Safari, open air bus. Sold all the cars and all the car keys, now they don't rust. No Eldorado, no Mitsubishi Diamante, no Chevy Cavalier like Inferno Dante. Russ Ferrari on my plates, don't say sorry when I'm late. Calamari would be great, but I already ate with lots of curry, tastes like bait. I don't worry, Sharon's fake, they had to bury, she was great. Charlie Manson full of hate. 707 to the 340. Down to St. Thomas out of SFO. 707 to the 340. Napa Valley, Cali to the Bolongo. 707 to the 340. Down to St. Thomas out of SFO. 707 to the 340. 4,500 miles of Rome.
We are pretty much, Space Ghost from the West Coast. We're out of here. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Yes, to the Late Night with Bobby Tyler show. Stay in touch. Transportation provided by Rolls-Royce, Cadillac, Lincoln, and Mercedes-Benz. The Late Night with Bobby Tyler show is brought to you by Auto City, on Sosco by the railroad tracks, Audio House right next door, Napa Gold and Silver on Jefferson Street, by Burger King, where kids are king, Emmy Lou's Diner, right in the River Park Shopping Center, Polish Nails and Spa by Jamba Juice, Knob Hill, not the Snob Hill, Doc's Trophy Shop on Jefferson Street, across from McDonald's, Air in Motion on Solano, between Lincoln and Pueblo, Sal the Flower Guy next to Napa High on Jefferson Street, Dr. Frazier on Jefferson Street. Follow us on TikTok, you don't stop, at Tyler Mall 2, Tyler MAUL 2. Late Night with Bobby Tyler show is filmed at the Napa Valley TV studios in Napa, California. Oh yeah. Craft services provided by Small World Restaurant, 928 Coon Street in Napa. Mr. Tyler's Hair and Makeup by Hair in Motion on Solano. Mr. Tyler's Wardrobe provided by Yo Mama.
T. They stand tall or crawl to get next to me. I'm tall 'em all, going down in history. Standing tall, and it's no mystery. I don't fall, the future is just for me. Baby doll, fame and fortune is first, you see. I don't stall, Niagara Falls flows the sea. I'm the baddest damn rapper that there ever could be. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball. Leave a message, baby, maybe a call. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball. Leave a message, baby, maybe a call. The T is for tremendous, the why not? The L is for lucky, the E for excellent. The R is for royal, cause that's what I am. So come on everybody and bump this jam. The pecker wood, more wood than woodpeckers. Checking the mic, cause I'm the mic checker. All you party people dress so fine. I'm about to entertain you and blow your mind. Tell 'em all.